ways. Let's start with voice. We've been using voice as an input across many of our products. That's because computers are getting much better at understanding speech. We have had significant breakthroughs, but the pace, even since last year, has been pretty amazing to see. Our word error rate continues to improve, even in very noisy environments. This is why, if you speak to Google on your phone or Google Home, we can pick up your voice accurately, even in noisy environments. When we were shipping Google Home, we had originally planned to include 8 microphones so that we could accurately locate the source of where the user was speaking from. But thanks to deep learning, we use a technique called neural beamforming, we were able to ship it with just 2 microphones and achieve the same quality. Deep learning is what allowed us about 2 weeks ago to announce support for multiple users in Google Home so that we can recognize up to 6 people in your house and personalize the experience for each and every one. So voice is becoming an important modality in our products. The same thing is happening with vision. Similar to speech, we are seeing great improvements in computer vision. So when we look at a picture like this, we are able to understand the attributes behind the picture. We realize it's your boy in a birthday party. There was cake and family involved, and your boy was happy. So we can understand all that better now. And our computer vision systems now, for the task of image recognition, are even better than humans. So it's astounding progress, and we're using it across our products. So if you use the Google Pixel, it has the best-in-class camera, and we do a lot of work with computer vision. You can take a low-light picture like this, which is noisy, and we automatically make it much clearer for you. Or coming very soon, if you take a picture of your daughter at a baseball game and there is something obstructing it, we can do the hard work, remove the obstruction, and if you take a picture of your daughter at a baseball game and there is something obstructing it, we can do the hard work, remove the obstruction, and so today we are announcing a new initiative called Google Lens. Google Lens is a set of vision-based computing capabilities that can understand what you're looking at and help you take action based on that information. We'll ship it first in Google Assistant and Photos, and it'll come to other products. So how does it work? So for example, if you run into something and you want to know what it is, say a flower, you can invoke Google Lens from your assistant, point your phone at it, and we can tell you what flower it is. It's great for someone like me with allergies. Or if you've ever been at a friend's place and you've crawled under a desk just to get the username and password from a Wi-Fi router, you can point your phone at it and we can automatically do the hard work for you. Or if you're walking in a street downtown and you see a set of restaurants across you, you can point your phone because we know where you are and we have our knowledge graph and we know what you're looking at. We can give you the right information in a meaningful way. As you can see, we are beginning to understand images and videos. All of Google was built because we started understanding text and web pages. So the fact that computers can understand images and videos has profound implications for our core mission. When we started working on search, we wanted to do it at scale. This is why we rethought our computational architecture. We designed our data centers from the ground up, and we put a lot of effort in them. Now that we are evolving for this machine learning and AI world, we are rethinking our computational architecture again. We are building what we think of as AI-first data centers. This is why last year we launched the Tensor Processing Units. They're custom hardware for machine learning. They were about 15 to 30 times faster and 30 to 80 times more power efficient than CPUs and GPUs at that time. We use TPUs across all our products. Every time you do a search, every time you speak to Google, In fact, TPUs are what powered AlphaGo in its historic match against Laserdahl. As you know, machine learning has two components. Training, that is how we build a neural net. Training is very computationally intensive, and inference is what we do at real time, so that when you show it a picture, we recognize whether it's a dog or a cat and so on. Last year's TPU were optimized for inference. Training is computationally very intensive. To give you a sense, each one of our machine translation models takes a training of over 3 billion words for a week on about 100 GPUs. So we've been working hard, and I'm really excited to announce our next generation of TPUs, cloud TPUs, which are optimized for both training and inference. What you see behind me is one cloud TPU board. It has 4 chips in it, and each board is capable of 180 trillion floating point operations per second. And we have designed it for our data centers so you can easily stack them. You can put 64 of these into one big supercomputer. We call these TPU pods, and each pod is capable of 11.5 petaflops. It is an important advance in technical infrastructure for the AI era. The reason we named it Cloud TPU is because we are bringing it through the Google Cloud Platform. So cloud TPUs are coming to Google Compute Engine as of today. We want Google Cloud to be the best cloud for machine learning. And so we want to provide our customers with a wide range of hardware, be it CPUs, GPUs, including the great GPUs NVIDIA announced last week, and now cloud TPUs. So this lays the foundation for significant progress. So we are focused on driving the shift and applying AI to solving problems. At Google, we are bringing our AI efforts together under Google.ai. It's a collection of efforts and teams across the company focused on bringing the benefits of AI to everyone. Google.ai will focus on 3 areas: state-of-the-art research, tools and infrastructure like TensorFlow and cloud TPUs, and applied AI. So let me talk a little bit about these areas. Talking about research, we are excited about designing better machine learning models, but today it is really time-consuming. It's a painstaking effort of a few engineers and scientists, mainly machine learning PhDs. We want it to be possible for hundreds of thousands of developers to use machine learning. So what better way to do this than getting neural nets to design better neural nets? We call this approach AutoML. It's learning to learn. So the way it works is we take a set of candidate neural nets, think of these as little baby neural nets, and we actually use a neural net to iterate through them till we arrive at the best neural net. We use a reinforcement learning approach. And the results are promising. To do this is computationally hard, but cloud TPUs put it in the realm of possibility. We are already approaching state-of-the-art in standard tasks like CIFAR image recognition. So whenever I spend time with the team and think about neural nets building their own neural nets, it reminds me of one of my favorite movies, Inception. And I tell them, we must go deeper. So we are taking all these AI advances and applying them to newer, harder problems across a wide range of disciplines. One such area is healthcare. Last year, I spoke about our work on diabetic retinopathy. It's a preventable cause of blindness. This year, we published our paper in the Journal of American Medical Association, and Verily is working on bringing products to the medical community. Another such area is pathology. Pathology is a very complex area. If you take an area like breast cancer diagnosis, even amongst highly trained pathologists, agreement on some forms of breast cancer can be as low as 48%. That's because each pathologist is reviewing the equivalent of 1,000 10 megapixel images for every case. This is a large data problem, but one which machine learning is uniquely equipped to solve. So we built neural nets to detect cancer spreading to adjacent lymph nodes. It's early days, but our neural nets show a much higher degree of accuracy, 89% compared to previous methods of 73%. There are important caveats. We do have higher false positives, but already giving this in the hands of pathologists, they can improve diagnosis. In general, I think this is a great approach for machine learning, providing tools for people to do what they do better. And we are applying it across even basic sciences. Take biology. We are training neural nets to improve the accuracy of DNA sequencing. DeepVariant is a new tool from Google.ai that identifies genetic variants more accurately than state-of-the-art methods. Reducing errors is important applications. We can more accurately identify whether or not a patient has genetic disease and can help with better diagnosis and treatment. We're applying it to chemistry. We're using machine learning to predict the properties of molecules. Today, it takes an incredible amount of computing resources to hunt for new molecules, and we think we can accelerate timelines by orders of magnitude. This opens up possibilities in drug discovery or material sciences. I'm entirely confident one day AI will invent new molecules that behave in predefined ways. Not everything we are doing is so profound. We are doing even simple and fun things, like a simple tool which can help people draw. We call this AutoDraw. Just like today when you type in Google, we give you suggestions, we can do the same when you're trying to draw. Even I can draw with this thing. So it may look like fun and games, but pushing computers to do things like this is what helps them be creative and actually gain knowledge. So we are very excited about progress even in these areas as well. So we're making impressive progress in applied machine learning, and we are applying it across all our products. But the most important product we are using this is for Google Search and Google Assistant. We are evolving Google Search to being more assistive for our users. This is why last year at Google I/O, we spoke about the Assistant, and since then, we've launched it on Google Pixel and Google Home. Scott and team are going to talk more about it, but before that, let's take a look at the many amazing ways people have been using the Google Assistant.
Okay, Google.
Hey, Google.
Hey, Google.
Okay, Google.
Hey, Google.
Play some dance music.
Sure. This is fresh air. My guest will be
Kimmy Schmidt on Netflix.
Okay, Google, count to 100.
Sure. 1, 2, 3.
Play Vacuum Harmonica on my TV.
71, 72, 73.
Play the Wonder Woman trailer.
Hey, Google, talk to Domino's.
Talk to Lonely Planet.
Talk to Cora.
Show me my folders from last weekend.
Your car is parked at 22B. Today in the news.
Turn the living room lights on.
Okay, turning on the lights.
I'm back, baby.
Hey, Google, drop a beat.
Flip a coin. Call Jill.
Set a timer. Talk to Headspace.
And then just for a moment, I'd like you to let go of any focus at all. Just let your mind do whatever it wants to do.
Done.
Hey, Google. Good night.
Turning off all the things. See you tomorrow.
Hey everyone. Last year at I/O, we introduced the Google Assistant, a way for you to have a conversation with Google to get things done in your world. Today, as Sundar mentioned, we're well on our way, with the Assistant available on over 100 million devices. Now, just as Google Search simplified the web and made it more useful for everyone, your Google Assistant simplifies all the technology in your life. You should be able to just express what you want throughout your day, and the right thing should happen. That's what the Google Assistant is all about. It's your own individual Google. Now, that video we saw really captures the momentum of this project. We've made such big strides, and there's so much more to talk about today. The Assistant is becoming even more conversational, always available wherever you need it, and ready to help get even more things done. First, we fundamentally believe that the Google Assistant should be hands down the easiest way to accomplish tasks, and that's through conversation. It comes so naturally to humans, and now Google is getting really good at conversation too. Almost 70% of requests to the Assistant are expressed in natural language, not the typical keywords that people type in a search box. And many requests are follow-ups that continue the conversation. We're really starting to crack the hard computer science challenge of conversationality by combining our strengths in speech recognition, natural language understanding, and contextual meaning. Now, recently we made the Assistant even more conversational, so each member of the family gets relevant responses just for them by asking with their own voice. And we're continuing to make interacting with your Assistant more natural. For example, it doesn't always feel comfortable to speak out loud to your Assistant. So today, we're adding the ability to type to your Assistant on the phone. Now, this is great when you're in a public place and you don't want to be overheard. The Assistant's also learning conversation beyond just words. With another person, it's really natural to talk about what you're looking at. Sundar spoke earlier about how AI and deep learning have led to tremendous strides in computer vision. Soon, with the smarts of Google Lens, your Assistant will be able to have a conversation about what you see. Now, this is really cool, and Ibrahim is here to help me show you a couple examples of what we'll launch in the coming months. So, last time I traveled to Osaka, I came across a line of people waiting to try something that smelled amazing. Now, I don't speak Japanese, so I couldn't read the sign out front. But Google Translate knows over 100 languages, and my Assistant will help with visual translation. I just tap the Google Lens icon, point the camera, and my Assistant can instantly translate the menu to English. And now I can continue the conversation.
What does it look like?
These pictures should match.
All right, it looks pretty yummy. Now notice, I never had to type the name of the dish. My Assistant used visual context and answered my question conversationally. Let's look at another example. Some of the most tedious things I do on my phone stem from what I see. A business card I want to save, details from a receipt I need to track, and so on. With Google Lens, my Assistant will be able to help with those kinds of tasks too. I love live music, and sometimes I see info for shows around town that look like fun. Now, I can just tap the Google Lens icon and point the camera at the venue's marquee. My Assistant instantly recognizes what I'm looking at. Now, if I wanted to, I could tap to hear some of this band's songs, and my Assistant offers other helpful suggestions right in the viewfinder. There's one to buy tickets from Ticketmaster and another to add the show to my calendar. With just a tap, my Assistant adds the concert details to my schedule.
Saving event. Save Stone Foxes for May 17th at 9 p.m.
Awesome. My Assistant helped me keep track of the event, so I won't miss the show, and I didn't have to open a bunch of apps or type anything. Thanks, Ibrahim. So that's how the Assistant is getting better at conversation, by understanding language and voices, with new input choices, and with the power of Google Lens. Second, the Assistant is becoming a more connected experience that's available everywhere you need help. From your living room to your morning jog, from your commute to errands around town, your Assistant should know how to use all of your connected devices for your benefit. Now, we're making good progress in bringing the Assistant to those 2 billion phones and other devices powered by Android, like TVs, wearables, and car systems. And today, I'm excited to announce that the Google Assistant is now available on the iPhone. So no matter what smartphone you use, you can now get help from the same smart Assistant throughout the day, at home and on the go. The Assistant brings together all your favorite Google features on the iPhone. Just ask to get package delivery details from Gmail, watch videos from your favorite YouTube creators, get answers from Google Search, and much more. You can even turn on the lights and heat up the house before you get home. Now, Android devices and iPhones are just part of the story. We think the Assistant should be available on all kinds of devices where people might want to ask for help. The new Google Assistant SDK allows any device manufacturer to easily build the Google Assistant into whatever they're building. Speakers, toys, drink mixing robots, whatever crazy device all of you think up, now can incorporate the Google Assistant. And we're working with many of the world's best consumer brands and their suppliers. So keep an eye out for the badge that says Google Assistant built in when you do your holiday shopping this year. Now, obviously, another aspect of being useful to people everywhere is support for many languages. I'm excited to announce that starting this summer, the Google Assistant will begin rolling out in French, German, Brazilian Portuguese, and Japanese on both Android phones and iPhones. By the end of the year, we'll also support Italian, Spanish, and Korean. So that's how the Assistant is becoming more conversational. And how it will be available in even more contexts.
Giá của sản phẩm này chỉ là 49 đô thôi và sẽ bán vào 19 tháng 10. Thì cái mức giá này rất là hợp lý và nó ngang với giá của Amazon Echo Dot, tức là một cái sản phẩm cạnh tranh tương tự của Amazon. Nhưng mà Echo Dot thì luôn luôn lắng nghe giọng nói của chúng ta. Còn cái Google Home Mini này thì có lắng nghe hay không, hay các bạn phải chạm vô để gọi Google Assistant, thì cái này cần phải chờ. Thì sẽ có 7 quốc gia khác nhau là Úc, Canada, Pháp, Đức, Nhật, Mỹ và Anh có Google Home Mini. Nhưng mà chắc chắn với các bạn là cái này đều có thể sử dụng ở Việt Nam.
We also opened the Assistant to third-party developers who are building some really amazing integrations. I'll turn it over to
remote control and a laptop and a sous chef.
Let it cool for 10 minutes.
It can play you this on TV or that on the internet. It can tell you the weather or if your flight's delayed because of the weather. And it knows the difference between you and your husband.
Hey.
So if you go, hey Google, call Alex, it won't call your husband's friend Alex. It'll call your
cái quảng cáo này cho mình thấy là
hey, how are you?
Là nó có thể gọi hey Google, tức là nó cũng luôn luôn lắng nghe giọng nói của chúng ta đó.
On the internet, so you know, no biggie. It's smaller than a donut and weighs less than a full-grown chipmunk without the nuts. It's powered by the Google Assistant.
Ask CNBC about the news, or my husband and I could play Name That Tune with Song Pop, which he is surprisingly good at. Until now. These experiences have been available through the Assistant on Google Home. But today, we're also bringing them to Android phones and iPhones. There's over 100 million devices on Android alone. So now people can get to Google features and third-party services from anywhere. And they can even pick up where they left off across devices. So not only are third-party integrations available in more places, they'll be able to do more. Starting today, Actions on Google will be supporting transactions. It's a complete end-to-end solution for developers, including payments, identity, notifications, receipts, even account creation. The platform handles all the complexity. Let me show you how one will work.
Hi, how can I help?
I'd like delivery from Panera.
Hi, this is Panera. I'll need your delivery address. Which one can I get from Google?
We'll go with 1600 Amphitheater.
What can I get you started with?
The strawberry poppy seed salad with steak instead of chicken.
Got it. How about one of these cold drinks?
And here I can just swipe through my options, see what looks good. Agave lemonade.
Great. Are you ready to check out?
Yep.
Okay. The total is $18.40. Are you ready to place the order?
Yes. I'll just scan my fingerprint to pay with Google, and that's it.
Thanks. You're all set.
Yeah. Super easy, like I was talking to someone at the store. So here I was a new Panera customer. I didn't have to install anything or create an account. You'll also probably notice I didn't have to enter my address or my credit card. I just saved those earlier with Google, and Panera used built-in platform calls to request the information. Now I was in control over what I shared every step of the way. So, the developer platform is also getting much stronger for home automation integrations. Actions on Google can now support any smart home developer that wants to add conversational control. Today, over 70 smart home companies work with the Google Assistant. So now on my Google Home or from my phone, I can lock my front door with August locks, control a range of LG appliances, or check in on my son's room by putting the Nest Cam on TV. All right. Now that we're talking about making your home smarter, we also have a lot of news to share today about Google Home, our own smart speaker with the Google Assistant built in. Here to tell you more is Rishi Chandra.
Thanks, Valerie. You know, it's really hard to believe. We launched Google Home a little over 6 months ago, and we've been really busy ever since. Since launch, we've added 50 new features, including some of my favorites, like the support for Google Shopping, where I can use my voice to order items from Costco right to my front door. Or I can get step-by-step cooking instructions from over 5 million recipes. Or I can even play my favorite song just by using the lyrics. Now in April, we launched in the UK to some great reviews. And starting this summer, we're going to be launching in Canada, Australia, France, Germany, and Japan. And with support for multiple users, we can unlock the full potential of Google Home to offer a truly personal experience. So now you can schedule a meeting, set a reminder, or get your own daily briefing with My Day by using your own voice, and get your commute, your calendar appointments, and your news sources. Now today I'd like to share 4 new features we'll be rolling out over the coming months. So first, we're announcing support for proactive assistance coming to Google Home.
At a scale
Home is great at providing personally relevant information for you when you ask for it.
With over 50 million voice samples,
but we think it'd be even more helpful
of different ambient environments.
It can automatically notify you.
We've been investing in voice search for over a decade, which is why we have the best voice recognition in the world.
And proactively looking.
Now, earlier this year, we had a major breakthrough with the ability to recognize your voice.
So, for example, let's say I'm relaxing and playing games with the kids. Well, I can see that the Google Home lights just turned on.
We build a model of your voice by looking at dozens of different voice characteristics.
Richie, traffic's heavy right now, so you'll need to leave in 14 minutes to get to Shoreline Athletic Fields by 3:30 p.m.
That's pretty nice. The assistant saw the game coming up on my calendar and got my attention because I had to leave earlier than normal.
Home has a lot
so now my daughter can make it to that soccer game right on time.
To help kids and families.
Now we're going to start simple with really important messages like reminders, traffic delays, and flight status changes. And with multiple user support, you'll have the ability to control the type of proactive notifications you want over time. All right, second, another really common activity we do in the home today is communicate with others. And a phone call is still the easiest way to reach someone. So today, I'm excited to announce hands-free calling coming to Google Home. It's really simple to use. Just ask the Google Assistant to make a call, and we'll connect you. You can call any landline or mobile number in the US or Canada completely free. And it's all done in a hands-free way. For example, let's say I forgot to call my mom on Mother's Day. Well, now I can call her while I'm scrambling to get the kids ready for school in the morning. I just need to say, hey Google, call Mom.
Sure, calling Mom.
So you're finally calling. Mother's Day was 3 days ago.
Yeah, sorry about that. They made me rehearse for I.O. on Mother's Day. Speaking of which, you're on stage right now. Say hi to everyone.
Oh, hi everyone.
So hopefully this makes up for not calling, right?
No, it doesn't. You still need to visit and bring flowers.
Okay, I'm on it. Bye.
Bye.
It's that simple. We're just making a standard phone call through Google Home. So my mom didn't need to learn anything new. She just needed to answer her phone. There's no additional setup, apps, or even phone required. And since the assistant recognized my voice, we called my mom. If my wife had asked, we would have called her mom. We can personalize calling just like everything else. And now anyone in the home can call friends, family, even businesses. Maybe even a local florist to get some flowers for your mom. Now by default, we're going to call it with a private number. But you also have the option to link your mobile number to the Google Assistant. And we'll use that number whenever we recognize your voice. So whoever you call, let's know it's coming from you. Now we'll be rolling out hands-free calling in the US to all existing Google Home devices over the next few months. It's the ultimate hands-free speakerphone. No setup required, call anyone, including personal contacts or businesses, and even dial out with their personal number when we detect your voice. We can't wait for you to try it out. Okay, third, let's talk a little bit about entertainment. We designed Google Home to be a great speaker, one that you can put in any room in the house, or wirelessly connect to other Chromecast built-in speaker systems. Well, today we're announcing that Spotify, in addition to their subscription service, will be adding their free music service to Google Home. So it's even easier to play your Spotify playlist. We'll also be adding support for SoundCloud and Deezer, two of the largest global music services today. And these music services will join many of the others already available through the Assistant. And finally, we'll be adding Bluetooth support to all existing Google Home devices. so you can play any audio from your iOS or Android device. But Google Home can do much more than just audio. Last year, we launched the ability to use your voice to play YouTube, Netflix, and Google Photos right on your TV. And today, we're announcing additional partners, including HBO Now. So just say what you want to watch, and we'll play it for you all in a hands-free way. With Google Home, we want to make it really easy to play your favorite entertainment. Okay, finally, I want to talk a little bit how we see the assistant evolving to help you in a more visual way. Voice responses are great, but sometimes a picture is worth 1,000 words. So today, we're announcing support for visual responses with Google Home. Now to do that, we need a screen. Well, fortunately, many of us already have a ton of screens in our home today. Our phones, our tablets, even our TVs. The Google Assistant should smartly take advantage of all these different devices to provide you the best response on the right device. For example, with Google Home, I can easily get location information. Okay, Google, where's my next event?
Your Pokemon Go hike is at Rancho San Antonio Reserve.
It's for my kids.
11 a.m.
It's for my
today.
kids, relax. But if I want to view the directions, the best place to do it is on my phone. Well, soon you could just say, okay, Google, let's go.
All right, I'm sending the best route to your phone.
And we'll automatically notify your phone, whether it's Android or iOS, and take you straight to Google Maps. So you can glance at directions, interact with the map, or just start navigation. It's really simple. Now, TVs are another natural place to get help from the Google Assistant. And we have a great place to start with over 50 million Chromecast and Chromecast built-in devices. So today we're announcing that we'll be updating Chromecast to show visual responses on your TV when you ask for help from Google Home. For example, I can now say, okay, Google, show my calendar for Saturday.
Showing it on your TV.
It'll show up right on the TV screen. I'll immediately get results from the assistant. And since the assistant detected my voice, we're showing my calendar. Others will see their calendar by using their voice. We can personalize the experience even on the TV. And you can continue to follow up the conversation. Looks like I have a biking trip to Santa Cruz. What's the weather in Santa Cruz this weekend?
This weekend in Santa Cruz, it will be clear and sunny most of the time.
So it's really easy and it's all hands-free. Your assistant can provide a visual response to a TV to a lot of different types of questions. You know, we talked how easy it is to play what you want to watch on the TV screen. But what about those times you don't know what to watch? Well, soon you could just ask, hey Google, what's on YouTube?
Here you go.
And it'll show me my personalized results right on the TV screen. If I don't like any of the options, I can continue the conversation with my voice. Show my watch later list.
All right.
Play Send My Love.
Playing Send My Love from YouTube.
It's really simple. Again, no remotes or phone required. In a short conversation, I found something really interesting to watch using Google Home. I can even do it with other things. Okay, Google, what's on my DVR?
Here you go.
Here we're showing how it works with YouTube TV, a new live TV streaming service that gives you live sports and shows from popular TV networks. And YouTube TV includes a cloud DVR, so I can easily play my saved episodes. Everything can be done in a hands-free way, all from the comfort of my couch. And over time, we're going to bring all those developer actions that Valerie already talked about right to the TV screen. So we do even more over time with Google Home. And that's our update for Google Home. Proactive assistance to bring important information to you at the right time. Simple and easy hands-free calling. More entertainment options, and evolving the assistant to provide visual responses in the home. Next up is Anil, who's going to talk about Google Photos.
Two years ago, we launched Google Photos with an audacious goal: to be the home for all your photos, automatically organized and brought to life so that you could easily share and save what matters. In doing so, we took a fundamentally different approach. We built a product from the ground up with AI at its core. And that's enabled us to do things in ways that only Google can. Like when you're looking for that one photo you can't find, Google Photos organizes your library by people, places, and things. Simply type Anil Pineapple Hawaii and instantly find this gem. Or when you come home from vacation, overwhelmed by the hundreds of photos you took, Google Photos will give you an album curated with only the best shots, removing duplicates and blurry images. This is the secret ingredient behind Google Photos, and the momentum we've seen in these 2 short years is remarkable. As Sundar mentioned, we now have more than 500 million monthly active users, uploading more than 1.2 billion photos and videos per day. And today, I'm excited to show you 3 new features we're launching to make it even easier to
So for example, if I want to change the temperature,
meaningful
I shouldn't have to remember
life.
the current thermostat setting.
Now, at first glance, it might seem like
hey, Google,
photo
make it
sharing is a solved problem.
Okay, warming
After
up
all,
the living
there's no
room.
shortage of apps
Your
out there
system
that are
knows what
great
warmer
at
means.
keeping
It'll just
you
take
and your
care.
friends and family connected. But we think there's still a big and different problem.
Thousands of
that needs to
top-quality
be addressed.
website templates with trendy
Let me show you
designs
what I
and free lifetime support. Get one for yourself on TemplateMonster.com.
There's one thing you know, it's that you're a great
including
photographer.
A very interesting camera
If there's a second
device,
thing you know,
go to the
it's that you're kind of a terrible person.
What?
Yeah. you heard me. The only
Alright,
photo
Know
of the
Her
birthday
Better
girl
by
in
Major
focus?
Laser.
Never
Here it is
sent
on
it.
YouTube.
The best picture of the entire wedding? Kept it to yourself. This masterpiece of your best friend? We were gonna send it, but then you were like, oh, remember that sandwich? I love that sandwich. If only something could say, hey, Eric looks great in these, do you want to send them to him? And you could be like, great idea. Well, it can. Wait, it can? Yep, with Google Photos.
So today, to make us all a little less terrible people, we're announcing suggested sharing. Because we've all been there, right? Like when you're taking that group photo and you insist that it be taken with your camera, because you know if it's not on your camera, you are never seeing that photo ever again. Now, thanks to the machine learning in Google Photos, we'll not only remind you so you don't forget to share, we'll even suggest the photos and people you should share with. In one tap, you're done. Let's have a look at suggested sharing in action. I'm once again joined on stage by my friend and Google Photos product lead, David Lieb. All right, so here are a bunch of photos Dave took while bowling with the team last weekend. He was too busy enjoying the moment, so he never got around to sharing them. But this time, Google Photos sent him a reminder via notification and also by badging the new Sharing tab. The Sharing tab is where you're going to be able to find all of your Google Photos sharing activity, and at the top, your personal suggestions based on your sharing habits and what's most important to you. Here is the sharing suggestion that Dave got from his day bowling. Google Photos recognized this was a meaningful moment, it selected the right shots, and it figured out who he should send it to based on who was in the photos. In this case, it's John V, Jason, and a few others who are also at the event. Dave can now review the photos selected, as well as update the recipients, or if he's happy with it, he can just tap send. And that's it. Google Photos will even send an SMS or an email to anyone who doesn't have the app, and that way everyone can view and save the full resolution photos even if they don't have Google Photos accounts. And because Google Photos sharing works on any device, including iOS, let's have a look at what John V sees on her iPhone. She receives a notification, and tapping on it lets her quickly jump right into the album and look at all the photos that Dave has shared with her. But notice here at the bottom, she's asked to contribute the photos she took from the event, with Google Photos automatically identifying and suggesting the right ones. John V can review the suggestions and then simply tap Add. Now all of these photos are finally pooled together in one place, and Dave gets some photos he's actually in. Which is great, because a home for all your photos really should include photos of you. Now, even though suggested sharing takes the work out of sharing, sometimes there's a special person in your life who you share just about everything with. Your partner, your best friend, your sibling. Wouldn't it be great if Google Photos automatically shared photos with that person? For example, I would love it if every photo I ever took of my kids was automatically shared with my wife. And that's why today we're also announcing shared libraries. Let me show you how it works. So here, we're now looking at my Google Photos account. From the menu, I now have the option to go ahead and share my library, which I'm going to go ahead and do with my wife, Jess. Importantly, I have complete control over which photos I automatically share. I can share them all, or I can share a subset, like only photos of the kids, or only photos from a certain date forward, like when we first met. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and share all. We did not meet today. And that's all there is to it. I've now gone ahead and shared my library with my wife, Jess. So let's switch to her phone to see what the experience looks like from her end. She receives a notification, and after accepting, she can now go to see all the photos that I've shared with her, which she can access really easily from the menu. If she sees something she likes, she can go ahead and select those photos and simply save them to her library. It's really easily from the menu. Periodically, as I take, if she sees something she likes, she can go ahead and select those photos and simply save them to her library. Keep coming back to this view and check really easily from the menu. Periodically, as I take, if she sees something she likes, she can go ahead and select those photos. Kids to automatically be saved to her library, just as if she took the photos herself. With shared libraries, she can do just that, choosing to auto-save photos of specific people. Now, anytime I take photos of her or the kids, without either of us having to do anything, they'll automatically appear in the main view of her app. Let me show you. Now, I couldn't just
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. As we were preparing for this event, we were all devastated by the news coming out of Las Vegas, as I'm sure all of you were. And that's coming off a challenging past few weeks with Hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria, and other events around the world. It's been hard to see the suffering, but I've been moved and inspired by everyday heroism. People opening up their homes, and to first responders literally risking their lives to save other people. Our hearts and prayers are with the victims and families impacted by these terrible events. We are working closely with many relief agencies in affected areas, and we are committed to doing our part. It's a true privilege to be at the SF Jazz Center. It's a great American institution for jazz performance and education. And it's really good to see familiar faces in the audience. As always, I want to give a shout out to a great American institution on the live stream for jazz performance and education around the world. And it's really good to see familiar faces in the audience. As always, I want to give a shout out to a great American institution on the live stream for jazz performance and education around the world. And it's really good to see familiar faces in the audience. As always, I want to give a great American institution on the live stream for jazz performance and education around the world. And it's really good to see familiar faces in the audience. As always, I want to give a great American institution on the live stream for jazz performance and education around the world. And it's really good to see familiar faces in the audience. As always, I want to give a great American institution on the live stream for jazz performance and education around the world. And it's really good to see familiar faces in the audience. As always, I want to give a great American institution on the live stream for jazz performance and education around the world. Continuing our shift from a mobile-first to an AI-first world. We are rethinking all our core products and working hard to solve user problems by applying machine learning and AI. Let me give you an example. Recently, I visited Lagos in Nigeria. And it's really good to see familiar faces in the audience. As always, I want to give a great American institution on live stream jazz performance and education around the world. People are coming online for the first time. So it's very exciting, unless you happen to be in the Google Maps team and you're from a mobile-first to an AI-first world. And we are rethinking all our core products and working hard to solve user problems by applying machine learning and AI. Let me give you an example. Recently, I visited Lagos in Nigeria. It's so we map a place by using Street View and doing a lot of stuff automatically. But it's difficult to do that in a place like Lagos because the city is changing. You can't always see the signage clearly. And there are variable address conventions. Things are insequential. So for example, take that house there. If you squint hard, you can see the street number there. It is number 3 to the left of the gate. That was relatively easy. On to a harder problem now. That house, that's what we see from Street View. I think as humans, it's probably pretty hard. Maybe 1 or 2 of you can spot it out. But our computer vision systems, thanks to machine learning, can pick it out, identify the street number, and start mapping the house. So we approached Lagos completely differently. We deployed machine learning from the ground up, and just in 5 months, the team was able to map 5,000 kilometers of new roads, 50,000 new addresses, and 100,000 businesses. And it's something which makes a real difference for millions of users there, as Google Maps is popular. And we think this approach is broadly applicable. Let's come closer to home. Parking in San Francisco. I don't even try it anymore, but for those of you who try it, we again use machine learning. We understand location data. We try to understand patterns, our cars circling around. And the color shows the density of parking, and we can analyze it throughout the day and predict parking difficulty, and in Google Maps, give you options. A simple example, but it's the kind of everyday use case for which we are using machine learning to make a difference. The best example I can think of, what we've talked before, is Google Translation. A simple example, but it's the kind of everyday use case for which we are using machine learning to make a difference. The best example I can think of, what we've talked before, is Google Translation. A simple example, but it's the kind of everyday use case for which we are using machine learning to make a difference. The best example I can think of, what we've talked before, is Google Translation. A simple example, but it's the kind of everyday use case for which we are using machine learning to make a difference. The best example I can think of, what we've talked before, is Google Translation. A simple example, but it's the kind of everyday use case for which we are using machine learning to make a difference. The best example I can think of, what we've talked before, is Google Translation. A simple example, but it's the kind of everyday use case for which we are using machine learning to make a difference. The best example I can think of, what we've talked before, is Google Translation. A simple example, but it's the kind of everyday use case. Fast forward to today, with the power of machine learning and our neural machine translation, we serve over 2 billion translations in many, many languages every single day. To me, shows the power of staying at a problem, constantly using computer science to make it better, and seeing users respond to it at scale. This is why we are excited about the shift from a mobile-first to an AI-first world. It is not just about applying machine learning in our products, but it's radically rethinking how computing should work. At a higher level, in an AI-first world, I believe computers should adapt to how people live their lives, rather than people having to adapt to computers. And so we think about 4 core attributes as part of this experience. First, people should be able to interact with computing in a natural and seamless way. Mobile took us a step in this direction with multi-touch, but increasingly, it needs to be conversational, sensory. We need to be able to use our voice, gestures, and vision to make the experience much more seamless. Second, it is going to be ambient. Computing is going to evolve beyond the phone, be there in many screens, around you when you need it, working for you. Third, we think it needs to be thoughtfully contextual. Mobile gave us limited context. With identity, your location, we were able to improve the experience significantly. In an AI-first world, we can have a lot more context and apply it thoughtfully. For example, If you're into fitness and you land in a new city, we can suggest running routes, maybe gyms nearby, and healthy eating options. And in my case, being a vegetarian and having a weakness for desserts, maybe suggest the right restaurants for me. Finally, and probably the most important of it all, computing needs to learn and adapt constantly over time. It just doesn't work that way today. In mobile, developers write software and constantly ship updates. But let me give a small example. I use Google Calendar all the time. On Sundays, I try to get. We want to enable hundreds of thousands of developers to be able to do it. AutoML. And just in the past month, for a standard task like image classification, understanding images, our AutoML models are now not only more accurate than the best human-generated models, but they are more resource efficient. So it's pretty amazing to see. We are now taking it a step further. Let me talk about another use case, object detection. When we say object detection, just a fancy name for computers trying to delineate and understand images, being able to draw bounding boxes and distinguish between all the vehicles there, scooters, mopeds, motorcycles, and even pick out the bike in front. It has a lot of practical use cases. The Street View example for Legos works based on object detection. Google Lens, which you'll hear about later, as well as our photography in Pixel, uses object detection. This is really hard to do. The best human-generated models we have only have a 39% accuracy. But our AutoML models, as of the past couple of weeks, have reached around 43% accuracy. They're constantly getting better. So the rate at which we are seeing progress with AI is amazing, which is why we are really excited about combining it with our software and hardware to bring it together for our users. Let me give you a concrete example. I was recently very inspired by this tweet from a journalist who was attending the Little League World Series.
Today, Google fans, the media. In the front row, we have some of our top sales reps from Verizon and other partners. It's great to have you all here. Yes. Welcome, welcome. We've got a lot to show you today, including a few surprises. So I thought I would quickly set the scene and explain what we've been working toward and just how it ties into the vision that Sundar outlined. A year ago, we stood on a slightly smaller stage and introduced the world to Google Pixel, Home, and Wi-Fi, Chromecast Ultra, and Daydream View. This is the first generation of hardware made by Google. So much has happened since then, and we've made tremendous progress in our first year. For starters,